and it cost him the ball game, but in 7 starts overall, 4.02 earned run average, 256 batting average against. He's got the changeup going the last couple of starts. Really good feel for that, and we expect that much of that tonight.
First pitch of this game to Sizemore is up and away, so we are underway right on time tonight at Tropicana Field. See Sizemore hitting .228 out of the leadoff spot, fouls it back, and the count is 1-1. Cleveland in the middle of the pack in runs scored this year, and Sizemore actually leads this team in runs batted in with 24.
Well, it's one of the reasons there's also talk about moving him down in the lineup.
And there's a bunt halfway to the mound, pick up by Shields, and they throw to first. Takes care of Sizemore.
That would make Sizemore 2 for 31 in the first inning. Ben Zobrist out there in left field today. B.J. Upton in center. Gabe Gross in right. Evan Longoria and Jason Bartlett on the left side. Haki Uemura, Carlos Pena on the right side. Michel Hernandez behind the plate for James Shields. And so I mentioned 2 for 31 leading off the game. He does have 4 walks. That's been the problem with Grady Sizemore.
Here's Cabrera. They moved him from second to short. The pitch is high, 1 ball, no strikes, and they really like the idea of having him at shortstop. And if the young second baseman Luis Valbuena can play there, they may have, for the time being, found their second and shortstop combination. 2-0. There's Eric Wedge, the skipper of this Cleveland ball club. Been a frustrating start for Wedge and the Indians. Inside, and Shields is behind 3-0. Eric Wedge in his 7th year as the manager. And that's a strike on the inside part of the plate. And with that call, Tim McClellan takes his time, as we all know.
No hesitation, as we know. That's right.
And there's another strike. Fastball to run it full. 3-2.
Now with that, Cabrera playing shortstop, and overall the Indians defense is 3rd in the American League in fielding percentage, 986.
3-2. That's fouled away, and it would seem that Peralta would wind up at 3rd. That's where he is tonight in Wedge's lineup. Eric Wedge will change that lineup around a bit. Foul ball. He led the American League last year in the number of lineups that he ran out there. 136 different Cleveland lineups, and he was behind, I think the only guy in the big leagues, the only manager he was behind was Tony La Russa. Ground ball, and that's going to get by the diving Uemura. Scoot into right field for a base hit.
Like a changeup on that one. Cabrera just got it in the right spot, just to the left of Aki. Pretty good pitch, though, and a good comeback by James Shields after starting out 3-0 against Cabrera. Here's the pitch, just about a foot away from Aki's left.
He's going to bring up Victor Martinez. Switch hitting catcher. And a ground ball against the shift. Longoria cannot come up with it. It kicks off into short left. That will enable Cabrera to go to 3rd, and Martinez is aboard. That's a base hit for Victor Martinez with the shift on. And he hit the ball the other way.
Yeah, Evan really didn't have a play even at second. Look at that 2-seam action fading away right there. All he's got to do is stop it and keep it right there. I think Evan was thinking I might have a shot at second base to try to get Cabrera, and he ends up not coming up with it, and that cost a base right there because Cabrera was able to get to 3rd.
So it's 1st and 3rd. Shin-Soo Choo, the designated hitter, steps in now. The Indians put up a 1st inning threat. Fastball away. A ball, no strikes. The guy in this lineup who has really been tough against Shields is on deck. That's Johnny Peralta. A little bit high.
Wow.
2-0. There's Peralta on deck. He's hitting 5th and playing third base. Fouls the fastball back. 2-1. The roof here at Tropicana Field coming in mighty handy here tonight. A lot of thunder and rain outside as we start this game.
Boy, it's loud in here. You can hear it. I mean, it's rocking. Saves this game for sure. Trop.
2-2 with that foul ball. Well, I don't know if you can tell, but those aren't raindrops. Those are sheets of rain out there. Ground ball outside of first base, foul. The count holds at 2-2.
Yeah, with Martinez on first base, Carlos Pena playing behind, and that off-speed pitch was just up a little bit. Shoe almost got one down the line. Carlos has some range as he's playing behind Victor Martinez. You don't expect him to run.
Martinez first, Cabrera third. Shoe at the plate. The 2-2. Shoe. He got it. Swing and a miss. Big strikeout for Shields. Picking up out number 2 in the first.
Big time adjustment from the last pitch to this one. Same pitch. Look at the bottom fall out of this changeup. Wow. I mean, right at the shoe tops right there. Looks like it's going to be about knee high. Ends up at the back ankle of Shoe.
And now Johnny Peralta prepares to step in there. He's 5 of 11 with 3 home runs in his career off Shields. Hitting .246 this year. And he chases one, strike one.
The slider expanding the zone right there. Peralta looking fastball. And that's a tough guy to do. Look fastball off of all the time, James Shields, because he'll throw everything at you. 2-seamers, 4-seamers, cutters, sliders, curves, a couple different changeups.
Foul ball. Back to the breaking ball. Curve ball there, and it's a 2-strike count. Pitch around, a couple first inning hits. Low. Now the runner belatedly takes off for second. Throw down. He is out. Nice recovery by Hernandez to get Victor Martinez on the peg to second base. And that retires the side. Kudos to Michel Hernandez right there. We'll go to the bottom half of the first, no score. Victor Martinez trying to advance. He recovered quickly and threw a strike to second. Quick look at the Rays lineup tonight. B.J. Upton, Jason Bartlett, and Evan Longoria. Carlos Pena with Willie Ibar, the DH, and Gabe Gross hitting sixth. Ben Zobrist, Akinori Iwamura, and Michel Hernandez rounding out the Rays lineup.
Facing the heavy sinker of Fausto Carmona, who's still trying to regain form of 2007, where he was so outstanding. Look at that earned run average, 5.5. And the big thing are the walks. 23 walks in 42 innings. That's about 4.5, 5 walks per 9.
Big right-hander misses upstairs with his first pitch. And the mystery to the Indians, so far as Carmona has been this year, he'll go out there and put together 2 or 3 or 4 very good innings, and they just lose it all of a sudden. High pop foul. That's going to carry out a play, and he can't throw a strike.
Yeah, he had 6 2/3 he pitched against the Tigers in his last start. Gave up 2 runs, but he walked 6. Gave up 4 hits. Got that hard sinker. Heavy slider. I could still think of him in the playoffs against the Yankees in 07, where he was just unhittable.
Yep. And there's a bunt by Upton, a good one. Peralta with the bare-handed pickup. They're going to get him, but a nice play by Peralta coming in from third. So BJ trying to bunt his way on here.
That's a nice effort, though. Nice try by BJ. Nice play by Peralta. He was up ready for it, but he had to barehand it and field it cleanly, and he was able to make the play. But that's a nice effort, too, by BJ to try to get on base. Take a look at the defense for the Cleveland Indians. Ben Francisco in left, Brady Sizemore in center, Matt Laporte, the youngster, in right field, Johnny Peralta, Asdrubal Cabrera in left side, Luis Valbuena, and Mark DeRosa on the right side, Victor Martinez behind the plate.
Bartlett takes a strike. Jason starting the evening hitting .369. Looks a high fly ball, not too deep to left. Francisco is there to make the catch. So a couple of quick outs here in the Rays half of the first. Evan Longoria will bat. You know, Bartlett made that out. Jason now 0 for 14 lifetime against Carmona. So maybe he can break through and settle a few scores with this guy.
Well, I mean, how many times have he's faced him 2 years ago, but 2 years ago he was almost unhittable with that hard sinker.
Pitch is high. No ball, no strikes. Yeah, he had 19 wins in 07.
He's obviously had problems repeating his delivery.
Ground ball chopped toward the middle. That's going to go through. Evan has a base hit his first time up tonight. Let's take a look at his numbers here over the last 3 seasons. It's really remarkable, that great 07 season, 19 wins against 8 losses, and he's struggled since.
Yeah, you're looking at an ERA of 3.06 in the American League. That's like about a 2.25 in the National League because of the extra hit of the DH. And then this year, in the last couple of years, earned run average around 5.5. But when you're putting base runners on, you're giving guys chances to drive runners in. He's just walking too many guys. That slider that he just threw to Evan was up and out over the plate.
Pena. It's a strike, says Tim McClellan. Pena got into the act last night with 2 doubles and a couple walks. He scored 3 times in the Rays' victory.
Comes the slider.
And Carmona is ahead in the count of 2. Rays saw him last August here at the Trop. Rays beat him 8-4. They scored 4 runs in 4 innings off him. He gave up just 3 hits, but he walked 5 in that one. Carlos takes it for a ball. 1-2. Upton and Bartlett were retired ahead of Longoria's single into center. Over to first. Ball loose, but in front of the bag. Longoria's back in there.
Mark DeRosa over there at first base. And Mark finally got some playing time at first in the WBC this year. Yeah, he's a super utility guy. Of course, not a utility guy now because of the contract he had signed when he signed with the Cubs, but he plays every day. But he can play everywhere in the infield and virtually everywhere in the outfield. But not that much time in his career in the major leagues at first base, only a game or 2.
Carlos takes it a little wide. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
See if Evan takes off on this 2-2 count. You expect Carmona to throw something moving, something sinking. Unless he wants to try to go up the ladder on Carlos Pena with a fastball. But everything he throws for the most part moves, and it's tough to throw off a pitch like that for a catcher.
And there's ball 3. So Pena, after falling behind, has worked the count all the way out. The Rays continue to see a lot of pitches up and down their lineup. So with 2 outs and a full count, DeRosa behind Longoria, who will be breaking.
See the super shift on.
And a swing and a miss. Pena's out on strikes to retire the side. Rays leave a man. We have completed 1. No score. We're scoreless in St. Petersburg as we go to the 2nd inning tonight. Rays and the Indians. Tonight's game simulcast in Spanish, and you can access this audio feature by selecting the built-in SAP option on your television. Johnny Peralta leads off. He was at the plate when Martinez was cut down trying to move into second base in the top of the 1st. So it's Peralta, DeRosa, and Francisco. Lifted down the right side. Hang time. Can Gross get there? He does. Just inside the line. Gabe Gross makes the catch. One away here in the second.
That was a super play, by the way, just to end the first inning to get James Shields off the hook there. Michelle Hernandez recovering on a ball in the dirt and throws a strike to second base. And he did indeed get Victor Martinez, who had a late break, but he saw the ball in the dirt, thought he'd take a shot, and Victor, instead of just eating the ball, I mean, he had confidence in throwing a strike down there, and he did indeed get Victor by just about a half a step there on the slide.
Michelle caught the Friday game. Started by Shields on the last road trip. A strike to DeRosa. Here's another look.
Play right there. I mean, keeps it in front. Did backhand it. You want to turn the glove over, you can, but he reacts quickly. Once he got it, and just did get Victor Martinez on a nice throw.
2 strikes the count to Mark DeRosa. DeRosa's out on strikes. A couple of those chalked up now by James Shields.
Where the changeup is so effective, it makes your 89 fastball look that much better. And if you paint that on the outside corner, you're going to be behind it. And DeRosa was.
It's been Francisco. Takes a look at strike one. Francisco hit 15 home runs last year. Chops this one back a third outside the line's foul. Nothing at 2. Ball, 2 strikes. Shields has never beaten the Indians. 2-2. In fact, if you consider postseason as well as regular season, this is the only American League team he has not beaten. 0-2 against him in 4 starts. This is 5th. And he strikes out Ben Francisco. Back-to-back strikeouts here in the second. We go to the bottom of the inning. No score. No score against the Cleveland Indians. Willie Ibar, who's in there in the DH role again, will lead it off. The Rays A bit short-handed on the bench with both Pat Burrell and Carl Crawford listed as day-to-day. Pitch to Ibar is inside, a ball, no strikes.
He got his batting average up to 273, 8 for his last 15.
It's Pat Burrell. He's had the neck concern over the last few days. Crawford with the bruised shoulder. He was getting treatment for that before the game. Carl available to a limited degree, apparently. Ground ball by Ibar. Albuena in front of it. Makes the play. That will be the first out. This is an anniversary of sorts as we go back to May 14th of 2000. The Cabot legendary performance. Jose Canseco, it's a home run that strikes the facing of the beach section in left field. Remains one of only 2 baseballs to reach the outfield upper deck here at Tropicana Field, and that one came off David Wells in a game against the Blue Jays. Traveled an estimated 456 feet. Gabe Gross fouls one back.
That's a blast.
Right up there.
That's a blast. Jose ran at first base, even said wow to himself. And he's hit some long ones. He was quick in his prime, and what I want to say about Jose, he did have bat speed.
Ball, 1 strike to Gross. So we'll be seeing a few more legendary performances apparently, and it's good to have Cabot aboard. Ground ball, chopped to first, fair. DeRosa makes the play without issue. 2 up, 2 down.
Well, so far for Carmona, we're seeing mostly fastball changeup, especially the left-handed hitters. Couple ground ball outs this inning.
Carmona, product of the Indians Dominican Academy. Pitch to Zobrist is a strike, and that season we referenced in 07 as a young pitcher, 19 wins. To go back to the early to mid 80s for a young pitcher of that age to have that kind of season. Blyleven was a 19-game winner for them when he was only 23 years old back in '84. Zobrist lifts it down the left field side, slicing foul and out of play.
I think the main question coming into spring training for the Indians was really about their starting rotation, not necessarily their bullpen, because they signed Kerry Wood, but their bullpen is near the bottom in baseball as far as ERA, 5.78, and their starters are near the bottom also. There was concern about the starters, about Pavano and could Cliff Lee repeat, and especially Fausto Carmona. He had to be the guy to step up.
Yeah, they're really trying to figure out what they can do with the bullpen. Sharply hit to first. DeRosa knocks it down, picks it up, and makes the play unassisted. We've gone through 2. No score from the Trop. Well, we got to the third. Matt Laporta leads it off for the Indians. And the first pitch from Shields is in there for a strike. And Laporta out of Port Charlotte. The Indians have high hopes for him and his bat. 1 ball and 1 strike. He's in there in right field tonight for Cleveland. Pitch is a strike. It's 1-2.
That was a good changeup right there. Well, Laporta's a guy, when you develop good pitchers like CC Sabathia, like the Indians have, and you're able to trade him, you got to get enough high draft pick and a guy with a lot of upside, and you can't re-sign him, and that's what they did by trading CC in the middle of the year last year to get Matt Laporta.
Tap foul. Count is still 1 ball, 2 strikes. Laporta, as you recall, led the nation in home runs at the University of Florida. Pops it foul. That will carry out a play, holding the count at 1-2. Shields had a very crisp second inning. And a swing and a miss. Laporta swinging over the changeup. 3 consecutive strikeouts for Shields.
You're going to see too many changeups like this in the minor leagues, let alone in college. The bottom falls out once again for Shields. Good arm speed, 82 miles an hour. Look at that ball. Goes across the knees and ends up again at the ankles.
So 1 away. Luis Valbuena is the hitter, and Shields works to him. Those have a first pitch strike. Let's check in with Todd quickly.
All right, Dwayne, we saw Pat Burrell a moment ago. A little update on Burrell. They are going to go ahead tomorrow and give Pat a cortisone injection. That will keep him out of the games on Friday and Saturday. Then they'll reevaluate Sunday. And you would think at that point the Rays are either going to be able to play him, or if not, that's a week in. They may have to look at a possible DL, but we'll figure that out Sunday. But tomorrow, a cortisone injection out for the next 2 days. Still available tonight, and we'll go from there, guys.
All righty. We don't want to get ahead of ourselves, but if they had to do that, then they could backdate that trip to the DL.
Right.
Might help. Well, let's hope that everything turns out to be okay, and he can resume his spot in the middle of that lineup. And ultimately, that's a big bat the Rays would love to have in there every day. Valbuena takes it outside, 2-2.
Looked like in that conversation in the dugout, all the talking is Pat Burrell, and Scott Kazmir's listening.
Yeah. Well, that's good.
Not a bad guy to listen to.
That's good.
He's been a pretty darn good big league hitter. And really, that's what leadership the Rays could use too. A veteran guy, good pitch up, chase right there by Valbuena.
That's 4 consecutive strikeouts, 5 strikeouts on the night.
You look at this pitch, just up in the zone. He got him to chase. He actually wanted it down, but she'll take it. Michelle Hernandez ready to hit because he thought that was a third out. He wants to get the bat ready, man. He's
supposed to hit second in the bottom of the inning.
He's got to get the gear off.
So let's go.
I've been there. I remember that. I've done that a few times.
You got a pitcher who struck out 4 guys in a row. It's hard to keep track of that.
4, 5, whatever, you know.
Pitch is a strike to Grady Sizemore. By the way, in the bottom of the third, we're going to be hearing from Jim Hickey, the Rays pitching coach. He's gracious enough to join us. Pitch inside. The Rays have the shift on again for Sizemore. And with only Longoria on the left side, there's Evan at the shortstop spot. Pitch popped up, and Longoria is making the call. He's got it to retire the side. 3 up, 3 down. We'll talk to Jim Hickey when we return. No score. Takanori Iwamura is going to lead it off for the Rays. Michelle Hernandez to follow, and then the top of the order, B.J. Upton in this scoreless game, the first of 4 here at the Trop against the Cleveland Indians. And we're happy to have joined our telecast Jim Hickey, the Rays pitching coach. Jim, we appreciate you allowing us into the dugout tonight.
Not a problem. I hope the inning takes quite some time. Oh, shoot.
Well, the first pitch, and Aki skies to Sizemore in center field. Well, I'll tell you, this game has moved right along, and one of the reasons is your pitcher tonight, James Shields. He's about as crisp, I think, as we've seen him.
I would agree with that. He actually found a little bit of not anything new, but something that he had been lacking in the bullpen, just in the way he takes the hand out of his glove, actually, and everything's coming out with a little bit of extra crispness and real clean. So I'm very happy also.
And Michelle Hernandez hitting the first pitch. He bounces out to third. Peralta and DeRosa.
Hey, nice talking to you, Jim.
Yeah. We'll see you later.
We know that Shields likes to work fast, but does he like to work that fast?
Yeah, well, Michelle tried to get out of that last inning with only 2 outs also, so maybe he's got a date tonight. I don't know.
We saw that.
We thought it was because he wanted to hit.
Exactly. Hey, talk about James a little bit, Jim, because the last couple of starts looks like he's had a pretty good feel for the changeup. We know one inning, kind of cost him there at Fenway Park, but he's got a good flow going, it looks like.
Yeah, he does have a pretty good flow going. The changeups started to come around 2 or 3 starts ago. I think tonight the curveball is as sharp as it's been probably ever in James' career, and he's throwing those low strikes with the fastball. So, he's gone fairly, easily through 3 innings, and, barring something really unforeseen, I would expect him to pitch pretty well and pretty deep into the ball game.
1-0 count to B.J. Upton here against Carmona. 2 quick outs with the bases empty. B.J. bounces one foul, and the count is 1-1. Well, it's been a little bit of a challenge, Jim, for the club. It seems in the first 5-6 weeks that if it wasn't one thing, it was another. But there are signs that things are starting to come together for this team now.
Yeah, there are. We really haven't gotten on the same page. Swinging the bats, starting pitching, relief pitching, defense, all at one time. There were some encouraging signs, and no one's happy with where we're at. I believe we're 3 games below 500 right now. But all things considered, there's been some disappointing games. But boy, oh boy, it's been a grueling start to the season. And not to make any excuses, but it's been a tough go. And we've hung in there as well as we could. We'd like to be a couple of games better, but it is what it is.
Well, Upton flies to center, and Jim, we appreciate this extended visit.
Yeah. All right, thank you.
Thanks, Jim.
At the end of 3, we have we go to the 4th inning with Kevin Kennedy and Todd Callis. Dwayne Stats with you, and we appreciate you looking in tonight. Scoreless game. James Shields back to the hill. Given up a couple of hits, no runs, and he has 5 strikeouts through the first 3 pitches of all. Just too bad that we had such a quick inning there. Only, I think, 6 pitches in the bottom of the 3rd, and that's all we got from Jim Hickey because of that. But I thought he said something interesting, and Kevin, being a manager and a catcher, I thought it was really interesting to take advantage of your insight on what he said about Shields and noticing something in the bullpen there, separating his hands, taking the ball out of the glove, and that's made a difference for him.
Well, when you break your hands, it's huge.
The liner in the right field off the bat of Cabrera. He has 2 of the 3 hits surrendered by Shields so far tonight.
And Jim was talking about, without getting into detail, and I'm assuming he was talking about when James was breaking his hands. If you break your hands too late and carry the ball in your glove, you don't get on top. I mean, you end up underneath the baseball. So you try to break your hands. We'll watch him, but it's in the back of the stretch now. But you try to break your hand when you get into that turn position, that gather position with the left leg. When that goes down, your hand should break at the same time, so your arm can get up on top. You can stay on top of all of your pitches. You know, he did give up a couple of home runs there at Fenway Park in the 6th inning. And he has given up a few home runs this year, and those were on high fastballs up out over the plate.
Yeah, when you're a little late like that, the ball tends to stay up.
That's exactly right. I know Jim didn't want to reveal all of that because a lot of people are listening, but that's usually when you're talking about where you break the hands, that's usually what the pitching coach is talking about. And that's something I always look for, too, as a catcher. If guys are carrying their hands too long.
That's only our speculation. What do we know?
Yeah, just a few things.
It's a strike to Victor Martinez.
Right there. That's pretty good. Leading with the hip right there. Back on the back leg, driving off, and then getting over the front leg right there. That's nice. That's a nice delivery right there.
Shift on for Martinez. Oh, that pitch didn't miss by very much. It's 1-1. He laid off the off-speed pitch. Martinez, second in the league in hitting. He's up to 390 now. Takes it into left. Zobrist is out there and makes the catch. Cabrera back to first.
You know, I always bring up Sandy Koufax, as I worked with him for 10 years in the Dodger organization. One of the things he talked about was not only when you break your hands, but leading with the hips. And maybe go back to that one of those shots and showing what leading with the hips means, and I'll illustrate if we can freeze one of those side shots here in a minute. Because if the lower half has to go first, power pitcher or not. Greg Maddux, Greg Maddux down, he leads with the hips. Don't have to be a hard thrower. And that keeps everything back, just like a hitter. It's just like a hitter. It's very similar. Take a look. When he breaks with the hands right there, look at the hips go first. And you land on the ball of your foot if you can. Right there. So you land on the ball of your foot, and that allows you to get over the front knee right there. If you land on the heel, that front leg's going to lock. You'll actually recoil, and that will also get the ball up.
Wave and a miss here by Shin-Soo Choo. Well, that was a great example of that, by the way, and breaking that down.
Yeah, I mean, what we're showing right now is what hitting coaches, pitching coaches, what they do in the video room. They show pitchers, for example, like this, what he's doing. You can take video from when he's had success, video when he's had a tough time. You'll see small things. And if you rush to the plate as a pitcher, take a look right here, freeze it. Right there, that's leading with the hip right there. That goes first, then the bottom half the upper half will come over. And then watch him land on the ball of his foot right there. And then the bent front leg, and get over it and finish it off and flat that. That's perfect right there. That's an excellent delivery.
Another pitch that didn't miss by much.
But if you do miss, that's where you want to miss. Down and away. I mean, that's a good pitch.
2-1 the count. 1 on, 1 out. There's a shot through the shift and into right. Cabrera's going to dig for third, and he will make it as Longoria tried to get back there in time to cover any potential play, but no play. Chu hit the ball very hard through the shift, and Cabrera hustled his way into third.
Yeah, that ball just stayed out of the play a little bit. Pretty good low ball hitter. He stays back. The hands are back. Look at him get right through that ball in the head, right through the back knee. That's great balance by Chu.
So the Indians put up a threat. Johnny Peralta about to step in. Pitch is inside. Peralta has been swinging the bat a little better. He had 211 during the month of April. His average coming into this game was up to 246, 244 this time in.
Looking for that 6-4-3 double play ball right here.
Close right there. Chu just got that hand on the bag, and a nice quick move by Shields.
The Indians have 24 stolen bases. That's 5th in the American League this year.
Liner into center. That's going to fall for a base hit. Cabrera will score, and the Indians take an early lead here. 1-0. As Peralta drives in his 15th run of the year. Chu stopped at second. So as the Indians continue their threat, we'll check out the Aflac trivia question of the night here in the top of the 4th inning. Aflac asked about it at work. Which major league manager led the NCAA in walks and total bases in the same season? Mark DeRosa. Shields got him on strikes the first time, and he loops this one over the head of Bartlett into left. Zobrist up with it. Man trying to score. Throw cut off, and it's 2-0. Shin-Soo Choo scores from second as Peralta stopped at second. DeRosa driving in the run. It's 2-0.
Yeah, that's one of those down softly. If you're Mark DeRosa, that's what you're saying. Get down softly. And over the head of Jason Bartlett. Zobrist comes up and was a strike to home plate. I don't think he would have had him. Ball cut off. Now you just got to stop the bleeding right here at 2 runs. Turn a 2-run inning into a 5-run inning.
San Francisco now.
Yeah, the stuff is good. I mean, you got to stay. Hey, you're throwing fine. That was just a little blooper right there.
The off-speed pitch, breaking ball in there for a strike.
Curveball Jim Hickey was talking about that he feels that James Shields really has his best one tonight.
Follows it up with a fastball to get ahead 0-2. Count still 2 strikes. A foul ball line back at third.
You got curveball, fastball. That was a changeup. Let's see what he goes with this pitch. Fourth pitch of the sequence.
Tap foul. He seemed to double up there.
He did with the change.
Still a 2-strike count to San Francisco. Ball third. Longoria to hockey one over to first. 5-4-3 on the double play, and that will take care of that threat. The Indians score a couple. 4 hits in the inning. A man left. Bottom of the fourth coming. 2-0 Cleveland. Answer to tonight's Aflac trivia question. Aflac, ask about it at work. Which Major League manager led the NCAA in walks and total bases in the same season? That would be that gentleman right there, Eric Wedge, the manager of the Cleveland Indians while playing for Wichita State in 1989. Jason Bartlett takes a strike. He had quite a season there. Chop charged by Cabrera. Throw to first is in time to get Bartlett. 2 gone.
Nice play by Cabrera right there. Fausto Carmona's got the good sinker. Keeping the ball down.
Here's Evan. It's outside. Wedge was drafted number 3 out of the 89 draft out of Wichita State. The Red Sox drafted him. Got some big league time with the Red Sox and briefly with the Rockies and a little more with the Red Sox. 1-1 the count to Longoria.
Yeah, I kind of found it interesting too. We saw one manager already get fired this past week in Bob Melvin of the D-backs, and 2 years ago he was manager of the year. And there's been talk about Eric Wedge already. You know, which always bothers me, being a former manager.
Sure.
To hear guys, oh, his job's on the line, and you're 35, 36 games into the season.
Well, and the you know, the interesting thing is Mark Shapiro, their GM, came out and gave him his support, the old vote of confidence. And you know, you're always concerned when you hear that. You think that should be a good thing, but it never is. Fly ball to left, or frequently is not.
That's true.
Francisco makes the catch on that fly ball. 2 outs, and so Wedge, you know, I mean, here's a guy who, this team won 96 games in 07.
Well, I believe he was also manager of the year that year, wasn't he? If I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
In 07 in the American League. So, I mean, one manager in 07 was manager of the year in the National League, Bob Melvin. He's fired. There's been talk about the Canadians' poor start about Eric Wedd's job on the line.
Carlos Pena with the shift. Shorten's on the bat, taking ball 1.
Johnny Peralta's so far away from that, I don't even know why he was charging. I guess so Pena wouldn't get a double if he wanted. Look where he's at. He came charging in.
Exactly.
I think Carmona can get there. Unless it gets by him, of course.
Bounces it foul. It's 1-1. George Hendrick distributing a souvenir to that young lady. It's out of play, foul ball. 1-2.
Well, Carmona has his command tonight. I mean, he's got 37 pitches, 25 for strikes.
Yeah, and for a guy who's had control problems, he's had only one 3-ball count. That was a 3-2 count to Pena, and he struck him out on a changeup.
Yeah, 38 and 26 after that last one. Here's his 39th pitch.
2-2. Cleveland signed him to a long-term deal in 08 that extends through 2011, and the club has options in 12, 13, and 14. Under this one, a high popper, left side. Peralta out there in shallow left, backing up and makes the catch to retire the side. We're through 4 innings tonight, 2-0 Cleveland.
It is 2-0 as we head to the 5th inning here at Tropicana Field. Now, the 4th game of this series will be on Sunday. It will also mark our Rays broadcast auction. There are going to be a lot of live auction items, 5 big-ticket items to be bidding on throughout the course of the afternoon. That'll be on Fox Sports Florida, and here's what we have for you. All this will benefit the Pinellas and Hillsborough Education Foundation's trip to St. Louis for 2 for the All-Star game as the ball is ripped into left field by Matt Laporta. as he has a leadoff base hit here in the 5th. So the trip to St. Louis includes airfare, hotel, tickets to the All-Star Game. Same deal with the trip to Seattle and New York. That's going to be items 3 and 4, respectively. There's also hitting lessons for Pat Burrell and a party at Tropicana Field. There will also be a $100 special ticket offer for a couple of games, one in late May and one in June. So all those trips, flight, hotel, tickets to the game, plus a lot more, guys. It should be a fun day on Sunday. Back to you.
We can't wait for that because there's always a lot of participation and great items involved, and that'll be Sunday. So mark that one on your calendar. Runner at first is Matt Laporta. He hit a fastball on the first pitch and lined it into left. Buena up there now. Fouls it. It's beyond the bullpen and into the Checkers bullpen cafe area.
Well, Valbuena's a guy that came over in that 3-team trade with the Mets and the Marlins. He was, or the Mets and the Mariners, excuse me. He was an original Mariner. Pretty good defensive player.
Well, he did a combined .303 last year in the minor leagues between AA and AAA. Hit 11 home runs last year. Does a nice job defensively.
And he works the count pretty well. So far this year in the minor league, 16 walks, 13 strikeouts.
Puts it into shallow center. B.J. Upton is there waiting. It's the first out of the inning, and holding at first, Laporta. Back around to the top of the order, Grady Sizemore. Going for 2 tonight. One on the foul ball off the changeup. Sizemore bunted. His first time was thrown out by Shields. Popped out to Longoria at third base. His last time up, that was in the 3rd inning. One ball, one strike.
And one of Grady's problems is he's already struck out 39 times this year. That's tough, especially in the leadoff spot. Over 30% of the time, Grady has struck out.
So it's 1 and 2 and a foul ball.
Eric Wedge did say that at some point in his trip, if he needs to, he will move Grady Sizemore down in the lineup. And Grady Sizemore, of course, responded, well, I won't be happy with that, but I'll do whatever I can. If that's what the manager wants, that's what I'll do.
Ground ball first. Diving stop by Pena. He has the play at first to make himself 2 gone. Laporta moves into second, and a fine defensive display right there again by Carlos Pena.
That's why Carlos Pena won the Gold Glove. Home Depot doing more on defense. He just saved a 1st and 3rd situation right there, coming off the bag and nailing that hard shot by Grady Sizemore, and then going to first base to get the 2nd out.
Now the shortstop, Cabrubel. 1 strike to count as Grubel Cabrera has 2 hits. He singled in the 1st, singled in the 4th, led off the 4th with a base hit, and that led to the 1st run. inside. It's 1-1.
This sequence is huge because Cabrera is hitting pretty well, but Victor Martinez is pushing, 385 coming in. Tick above that right now. Already 1 for 2 tonight.
It's out of play, so Shields doing the right thing. He's ahead of Cabrera. The runner at second, 2 gone. Ground ball to second, comes up on Aki, has no play, and the inning will continue. Well, it appeared that Shields was going to be out of the inning and not face Victor Martinez. That ball came up on Aki for an error.
I think Aki waited back because there was a runner at second, and he wasn't sure he could get it on the short hop, so he stays back, and that long hop comes up a little bit and bites him on the heel. I think the only reason he stayed back on that, didn't charge it, is because there's a runner at second base. He wanted to make sure it stayed in front of him, and it ends up biting him on the heel and costs him an error.
He charged with his 5th error of the year, and now Victor Martinez will hit. 1 for 2 so far in this game, hitting .387 for the year.
Victor's tough to defend too because he does use the field. He's got power to left center, right center, and he's got power from both sides of the plate, and he's always been a good hitter from both sides of the plate. There's no dominant side for him, left or right.
Pitch stayed wide, started him with a breaking ball.
Wayne, the way you have to look at this too is that there's an open base at second base right now. Now, I'm not saying you walk Victor Martinez, but I'm saying if runners are at second base, second and third and 2 outs, how would you pitch to Victor? Because you got Chu on deck. Right now, Martinez is the second hitter in the American League. I think pitchers forget that sometimes. Sometimes when there's first and second and 2 outs, you got to remember there's a base open at third, meaning you don't have to throw this guy a strike or a hittable strike. You make your pitches, you paint him. He's just too hot right now.
1-1 the count. He got that last pitch in over the inside edge. Fly ball back down the middle into deep center field. Up and back, and it's going to be over his head. Will bounce off the wall. Laporta has scored. Cabrera's going to score, and Martinez is in at second with a double. That will make it 4-0. A 1-1 pitch, and Martinez hit it right back down the middle over BJ's head.
I mean, that's what I'm talking about right now. That's a hittable pitch. If you make a mistake, you might as well go in and hit him in the ribs, but not out over the plate. It just ran out over the plate. He is so patient and quick right now that he just drills this ball over BJ's head, short hops the wall for a 2-run double. Now, those are things you have to recognize, and I think as you get older in this game and more mature, I mean, you will recognize those situations. Everybody has ego that, when they pitch well, I can get everybody out, but you don't have to. Let them get themselves out. Let them expand his own zone. I worked with enough of the young pitchers in my life, both as a manager and a catcher, that I know the mentality, especially of guys that have excellent stuff. And they never want to give in. But you got to recognize where the turning point, where the game can be opened up versus keeping the game right there at 2-0.
That's a strike to Shin-Soo Choo. Singled and scored in the 4th, so it's a 2-run 5th inning on top of a 2-run 4th for Cleveland. The Indians have 4 runs, 8 hits tonight. Two balls and a strike.
When you're hitting 385, I mean, you're now 387 and now even more, pushing 390. That means you're not missing any mistakes, and that was a mistake.
There's the strike on the inside part. 2 balls, 2 strikes. count remains 2-2. Laporta and Cabrera have scored. Martinez at second is double dribble home, and that one just missed to run the count all the way out.
Take a look. Well, just off the outside corner. Michelle Hernandez freezes it, but it did go around the plate. And Will McClellan, he won't give you any more out there.
Fly ball back into left center field. That ball is going to be in there. It will one-hop the fence as Zobrist plays the carom. Martinez scores. Chu doubles in a run. Now it's a 5-0 ball game.
That's a changeup right there. He just went down and got it. And you saw last at bat that he's a low ball hitter. So I think some of these hitters, you got to change the eyesight on. We talked about that last week. Guys start getting comfortable looking for off speed down. You got to stand them up.
Well, it started with the base hit by Laporta. 3 runs have scored. Back-to-back doubles by Martinez and Chu. Johnny Peralta, who drove in the first run of the game with a base hit in the 4th inning, bats again in the 5th. Here's Peralta. Inside.
Nothing wrong with that.
Yep.
That's what we're talking about.
That's exactly the point.
And Peralta gave him a look. He didn't like it, but you know that's what you got to do. Make them move.
You sort of hope they give you a look. I mean, that tells you they're not as comfortable as they might otherwise be. And now he's out after that one.
Yeah, he's trying to go deep.
Yeah.
So he got mad there because James came inside and he said, "All right, I'm going to swing harder and hit one out on you," and you make him chase a bad pitch. That you got to put it in their heads that you'll do something different.
One and two. Shields with 3 runs in the 5th, 2 outs, a man at second, 90 pitches. This is high pitch count inning tonight, the 5th. The count at 1 and 2, fouling off a fastball.
It's a pretty healthy 1 and 2 swing right there. James Shields got away with one right there because that was a pretty hittable pitch.
Two and 2.
Trouble getting together here.
Yep. And another full count. So Peralta 3 and 2. As we mentioned earlier, Peralta has had success against Shields. 1 for 2 tonight and 6 of 13 lifetime. 3 home runs. 3-2. Foul ball. We'll do it one more time. It's got him up to 30 pitches in this inning. And the 3-2 breaking ball misses for ball 4. And he gives up his first walk tonight. 7 men have come to the plate. 2 men on now with 2 outs. And Mark DeRosa will hit that soft liner into left field to drive in a run in the 4th. Steps in with 2 men on this time. DeRosa 1 for 2 to Jim Hickey on the bullpen phone.
Yeah, that'll get the bullpen going. A long inning.
Ground ball down to 3rd. Tough hop. Throw to 2nd. Safe there, and the inning will continue as Longoria went to Iwamura. And beating the play in Peralta to continue the inning.
No, that's actually a good play by Evan. He saved a run. That ball had some top spin, and that's the only play that he even had a shot at. He had no shot anywhere else. Obviously not at third base because he left the position to make the play and backhand it. Well, take a look at this. That last hop, that was a quick hop, and he was able to spear it. And his only shot, and he almost got him, was to go to second base. First base, he had no chance. Saved a run right there.
So they're loaded, and here's Ben Francisco. The pitch is a strike. 10 Cleveland hits now.
Plenty of time for the Rays to come back, too, even though Foster Carmona's throwing well.
High ball, short center. Upton coming in. He got it. Reaching down on the run. That retires the side, and a fine running catch by BJ to retire Francisco and leave the bases loaded. But the Indians put up 3. They lead 3. And on this catch at the end of 4 1/2, 5-0 Cleveland. Fox Sports Florida is brought to you by Subway. Play hard, eat fresh. By Geico, 15 minutes could save you 15% on car insurance. Visit us at geico.com or call 1-800-947-AUTO. And by Gulf Coast Honda. Visit GulfCoastHondaDealers.com to find great deals on fuel-efficient Hondas. Willie Ibar to open the home half of the 5th. 1 ball, no strikes. Ibar, Gross, and Zobrist due up. 2-0.
Maybe that long inning, sitting down, Carmona will lose a little of his edge. And you're the Rays, you got to get bunch some base runners right here, get some base runners on, make some things happen, get a couple at a time. You don't have to get all 5 back at once. Work the count like the Rays are good at doing.
Yeah, get some guys on and chip away at this deficit. Ibar cues this one to deep short. Cabrera's throw, they're going to get him. That's a heck of a play by Cabrera out there at shortstop, because that ball was hewing away from him.
Yeah, and Willie Ibar, I don't think got out of the box very well. That ball got right off the end of the bat, and that's just a great play by Cabrera. Willie's not a burner. Getting down the line, Carmona, you pick up your pitcher right there. That's what Cabrera did for Fausto Carmona.
One away here in the 5th. Here's Gabe Gross. The Rays still have only the first inning single up the middle by Evan Longoria, and no walks allowed by Carmona. Again, he still has just that 1-3 ball count going tonight. There's ball 1 to Gross.
Yeah, that was a big pick-me-up right there, because Ibar, I think if Ibar had gotten out of the box, he makes that a bang-bang play. And it looked like it took him a good beat and a half before he got out of the box.
Joe Nelson up in the bullpen. The long top of the 5th really elevated Shields' pitch count. He got 3 runs. All of those were unearned, as it turns out. Ground ball, base hit into right. Gross hits one sharply through the right side of the infield. Hit number 2 for the Rays.
Gabe Gross hitting much better in his last 8 games. 348. Take a look. Nice bounce right here. Short of the ball with the lead arm. This is key right here. That lead arm getting to the ball and getting right through it with good balance.
Brings up Ben Zobrist, who's in left field in the place of Carl Crawford.
Take a long one, too.
That wouldn't be bad. Sure.
A couple back at a time. You can do it that way if you want.
And takes one outside. Ahead of the count. 2-0. Well, all 3 of these hitters, Ibar, Gross, and Zobrist, have been ahead in the count. That's a little different trend than we've seen in the first 4 innings.
And the other thing is you got Carmona in the stretch, which he hasn't been since the first inning. There's been a couple of long innings offensively where he's had to sit down, so you got to kind of take advantage of that right now.
And there's ball 3. 3-0.
Nobody better than like to make up for the error too than on deck. Aki Uemura with a couple of guys on.
Ben takes it for a strike. 3-1. He took a little something off right there to throw a strike. 1 on, 1 out. 3-1 the count. There's Hockey on deck.
Nobody feels worse than that man right there for the error that helped open up a big 3-run inning in the top half of the 5th.
Runner goes. The pitch is low for a ball. So Gross is in at second on the walk to Zobrist. 2 on, 1 out. Let's check in with Todd.
Well, Dwayne, it's interesting, and you guys talked about Carmona and sometimes how he'll lose his control. Last time he pitched against the Rays, August 5th of last year, it was a game early where he had the lead. The Rays would come back and take the lead and then really add on in the 7th inning with 3 home runs against the Tribe bullpen. Evan Longoria hit one, Cliff Floyd to straightaway center field, and then Deanna Navarro. But just like this game, in that game, all of a sudden he walked 3 in the 4th inning. Tonight, he's been a little bit more wild in the 5th inning. 2-0 count, 2-0 count to the first 2 batters, and then a walk to Ben Zobrist. So still plenty of time. We'll see what happens and see if that flashback reoccurs tonight, guys.
Well, Carl Willis out. He's trying to change the momentum of the inning for his right-hander Carmona. But as we discussed, you're right, early in the telecast, his history this year has been exactly that. He would come out, throw well, and he'd run into an inning, and it would just all come apart for him. And the Rays are hoping they can build one of those innings against him here in the bottom of the 5th.
Yeah, he was rushing the last couple of hitters there to Gross and Zobrist, especially to Ben Zobrist, opening up a little bit too soon. And I'm sure that's what that conversation with his pitching coach, Carl Wills, was about.
Hockey jumps on the first pitch and misses. Strike one.
Slow down, keep your balance. Keep your front side in.
Single and a walk, and the Rays are trying to make some noise with one out in the bottom of the 5th.
Hockey hit a pretty good line drive to deep center in the 3rd inning for an out, but hit it well.
1-1 the count. Hockey still looking for his first home run of the year. Chopped to 3rd. Peralta's going to take it to 1st, and they get Iwamura. Over to 3rd goes Gross, and Zobrist moves into 2nd.
And Peralta wanted to take the sure out. No chance really at second base. The ball wasn't hit hard, and he had to hurry it over to 1st because Hockey was getting down the line pretty well.
Well, let's see if Michel Hernandez can help the cause here with a couple of men in scoring position. First time tonight the Rays have really had that kind of threat. Before this inning, they had only Longoria as a base runner on a 2-out single in the 1st. Now Gross is at 3rd and Zobrist at 2nd. Hernandez fouls it. It's a strike.
Tough two-seamer right there. 88, but ran in on him. That's a good pitch by Carmona. Last time Michel grounded out to 3rd base. Times he does start, he's had some hits. Of course, he had a big 4-hit night here at home, including his first major league home run. And some base hit get you right back in the game here.
A ball and a strike to Hernandez. The pitch in. Hernandez made the start up in Boston last Friday. Had a base hit, went 1 for 4 in that one. Ground ball headed to 3rd. Peralta gloves and throws, and the Rays have a threat but do not score. A hit, a walk, and 2 left through 5. 5-0 Cleveland. (5-0) Cleveland leading the Rays. We move to the 6th. This Saturday, every fan attending the game receives an Evan Longoria Rookie of the Year figurine presented by Bright House Networks. So don't miss the Rays And the Indians Saturday. Log on to RaysBaseball.com or call 888-FAN-RAYS to get your tickets for all the fun Saturday. Joe Nelson is the new pitcher for the Rays, taking over for James Shields, who threw 98 pitches in 5 innings tonight. And Nelson's first pitch is a little bit outside.
15 games for Joe Nelson. 200 opponents batting average against, 4.20 earned run average. Of course, the changeup was an out pitch for Joe.
Facing Matt Laporta, who opened that 3-run inning in the 5th with a base hit. As a result of the error, all 3 of those runs were unearned, but they are big runs. Shields worked 5 innings, gave up 5 runs, 2 earned runs. On 10 hits, he walked 1 and struck out 5. Two balls, 1 strike.
Go Blue, keep your head in the game.
2-2.
Yeah, because much like James Shields' last start at Fenway Park, he had a good flow going, was throwing strikes, and all of a sudden in the 6th inning kind of blew up, and that was an inning started by Pedroia that went off of his glove, and Imamura double clutch on the ball and couldn't make the play, and then all of a sudden he got a walk to Ortiz, 3-run home run to Bay.
Yeah, that scratch hit really seemed to affect him in that start. Another hit for Laporta. So he's 2 for 3.
Matt Laporta, take a look at the balance right here. A little load in the back leg. Getting inside it right here with the hands. Locked in, head down. Shoots it right back up the middle.
Nelson's pitch is a strike on the inside corner. Luis Valbuena. Missed the change. Valbuena's out of Venezuela.
He learned how to hit the changeup for first 5-6 innings of this game, isn't he? If he doesn't know already.
Enough of them, that's for sure. With these 2 guys. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Pitch is fouled back. Still 1-2.
Diving over the plate on that one.
He's been compared a little bit to Ray Durham as an infielder, hitter.
Not a bad comparison. Pretty good offensive second baseman these days.
He pulls it up the right side, foul. Just outside the right field line, beyond the bullpen.
I think with all this off-speed stuff, you got to see a little four-seam fastball. He's diving over the plate. Count to do it on right here. Stand him up a little bit. When Nolan Ryan, had Nolan Ryan when of course it's Nolan Ryan, granted, 96, but you see a young guy take a swing like that, he's going to see one right upstairs, but not away. He's going to see one up and in. Welcome to the big leagues.
Yeah, instead of going away, he'd go up and in first, and then if he was going to go away, then he would go away.
That's right.
Fly ball lifted the other way into left. It's Zobrist makes the catch. So that will be out number 1 here in the 6th. Saturday, the Rays will be on Fox as Evan Longoria leads Tampa Bay Club against Grady Sizemore and the Indians. Fox Saturday Baseball returns this week at 4 p.m. on Fox, and check your local listings for the game and start time in your area. Grady Sizemore 0 for 3, retired in the 5th on Pena's good play. It's a strike. Nelson worked an inning and a third Tuesday, and the Rays had to piece the rest of the game together when Sonnenstein was knocked out of there after 2 innings plus. It's 2-1. Nelson pitched an inning and a third, gave up no runs and a hit and a walk, picked up a strikeout. Takes the count to 2-2. Fastball from Joe Nelson.
Would be changeup time.
Well, foul back.
Right back at him.
Nelson to keep the Indians in check and give the Rays offense some time to get started.
Here it comes.
And he got him with it. Sizemore out on strikes. Second out here in the 6th.
Still amazed that Joe can grip the ball like he does with that Vulcan grip and have command with that change. Look at that thing fade off the outside corner.
Yeah, there are a couple of phases to that. One is just gripping it.
Yeah.
And number 2 is throwing it, and number 3 would be controlling what you're throwing.
Look at that between the index finger and the middle finger.
Cabrera takes the ball. Dribble Cabrera.
I asked Joe, I said, is that true? And I read that you started with a golf ball and eventually you got used to it. Kept trying a bigger baseball and then a softball. There it is. I mean, that's incredible right there.
So what do? You walk around with a golf ball in there for a while? And
yeah, you go. Look at that.
It's incredible.
And he told me, he said, I can't do it with my left hand. He said, I can't get a baseball or a golf ball with my left hand doing it. But, you know, you learn it spreads out. I mean, it's got to stretch your tendons, doesn't it, in there? Your ligaments?
So, I mean,
you'll permanently be walking around with separation there.
Well, it's like those guys who threw the screwball all their lives.
Yeah. The elbow and the hand.
Yeah, you weren't sure you were shaking the right hand or the left
That's
hand.
Right.
Runner takes off. The pitch is low, and the throw is not in time. A stolen base for Laporta.
Yeah, Michelle got it on the shortstop side of the bag. If he gets it on the second base side, I think they got Laporta out. Eric Wedge, I mentioned, they got 25 stolen bases. They'll run a little bit, depending on the situation and the count. They're 5th in the league in stolen bases.
3-1, and it's lined over Aki's head into right center field. Cabrera's on his way to second as Laporta scores, and the Indians make it a 6-0 ball game. So Laporta steals his first big league base, and on the next pitch, Cabrera is on for the 4th time as he drives him in. 12 hits now for Cleveland.
Cabrera, as hot as he is, I mean, they like to keep him in the 2 spot and keep Grady Sizemore at the 1 spot because, I mean, he's a guy they may lead off if they move Grady Sizemore back down. But he's so tough right now. He's getting a lot of pitches to hit in front of Victor Martinez, and when he gets them, he's been getting a lot of base hits.
Balfour is up in the Rays bullpen now. Pitch inside to Martinez. Two runs in the fourth, three in the fifth, and another one in the sixth inning. It's 1-1.
Pretty good swing by Victor on that one. He is so locked in right now. He waited pretty well on that one. Just missed it.
Well, he is 2 for 3 tonight. 7 of his last 13. Is high, and on that pitch the Rays had the shift going, and Bartlett to the first base side of the bag at second had moved to the bag. He was at the bag at second base when the pitch was made. Three and one. Thing about Victor Martinez, he's hitting over 400 on the road this year.
He's just locked in. I've seen a lot of the Indian games at different times, and every time I see him, he's doing something special like that.
There's a long one, but foul.
Yeah. Real short. You got a short stride too. He's got a nice little curl in there, right there with that front leg, and he goes right back to the spot he came from, and boy, he gets great extension out front. Look at that. It's a good looking swing, but he's got that load. If you kind of remember Sammy Sosa, Sammy would bring that front leg all the way back, weight on the back leg to bring the front leg back, and then go right back to the spot he came from. Gonna reach lower half power.
Fly ball toward the line and left. On the move, a diving attempt, and Zobrist can't catch up. Cabrera's going to score. Martinez will go to second with his third hit tonight. That makes it 7-0. The Indians are swinging the bats here in the middle part of this game. Victor Martinez right in the middle of the action.
And take a look. There's a load on the back leg. The front leg comes back, and then he just guides it out to left field and got a little tailing action. Left-hand hitter going down the left field line. It's going to tail away from Ben Zobrist. Nice effort by Ben, and why not with 2 outs? Go for the dive, try to save the run. When you're hot, you're locked in. That's the guy you gotta. You can't let him even have a hittable pitch.
Now the pitch to Sin-Soo Choo is high. Ball, no strikes.
Well, when Balfour comes in, I guarantee they're going to see some high fastballs, because that's, I mean, they're diving out over the plate. All these left-hand hitters are getting pitches down. They're going to change the eyesight. Too comfortable.
1-1 the count. Rays have now been out hit 13-2. Nelson misses. It's 2-1. Shields had a 34-pitch fifth, and Nelson's up to 32 right now. And a high fly ball deep to right, and that one is way gone. Choo hits it way out of here. A 2-run home run, his 4th home run of the year. The Indians have added 4 more runs. That makes it 9-0.
Take a look at where this pitch is. Choo, I mean, he's just total extension, but he's getting a lot of good pitches to hit tonight. That ball ran in, middle in, belt high, right into his swing.
The pitch to Peralta, and that's in there for a strike. A long blast by the Cleveland designated hitter. Pitch is in there. I mean, Chu hit it a long way. And watched it for a while. 2 balls and a strike. Two and two. So 4 hits, 4 runs, 3 of those hits for extra bases in this inning.
When you see the way Carmona's throwing tonight and the way these guys are squaring up everything, the offense, you go, well, how could they be in last place at 13 and 22 in the American League Central?
Yep. Well, and the interesting thing about that, the Indians feel they're really at a point of no return. 13 and 22 coming in, but when you stop and think they're only 5.5 back. Because no one has really dominated the Central Division.
That's nothing. Yeah. Yeah, the leader, the Tigers coming in, are only 2 games over 500. I mean, that's why it actually bothered me when I heard people last week talking about, well, maybe it's Eric Wedge's job is on the line. Why? 80% of the season so far.
And there's ball 4 inside. Peralta walks. He's on for the 3rd straight time. And Joe Madden will come out. That's 40 pitches thrown by Nelson. And we're going to see a new pitcher for the Rays. Grant Balfour will enter from the bullpen. We'll be back right after this. The Indians have taken command here in the 6th inning. A reminder, fans, $250,000 Mustang money tickets go on sale May 19th. Register from the 19th through the 11th of June 2009 to win a 2010 Ford Mustang V6 convertible, ultimate Florida baseball weekend getaway, and $100 gas cards. Visit FLAlottery.com for details. Grant Balfour is the new pitcher. 1-0 the count to Mark DeRosa, who bats with a man at first, 2 outs. This one jams him, and it's popped into short left. Zobrist is there to make the catch. That retires the side. 4 men score. It's 9-0, middle of the 6th, Cleveland.
form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Tampa Bay Rays.
Well, the Indians down the middle of this game have taken charge. 2 runs in the 4th, 3 runs in the 5th, and 4 more in the 6th. And the Rays so far managed just 3 base runners off Carmona through the front 5. And here's B.J. Upton to lead off. Pitch is low to B.J. and the bottom of the 6th inning is underway.
Yeah, you wouldn't think, like I said last night, the Indians came in here 9 games under the way they're playing tonight, swinging at bats and the way Carmona's throwing. Can't look past anybody. I know people look at the teams and say, well, you know, coming off a decent road trip, 4-3, that's good. Get the Indians coming in, well, maybe this is a sweep. It just doesn't work that way in Major League Baseball. Every time I did that as a manager, you know, you can't look past anybody. It's still a Major League team with a lot of good talent out there.
Well, the Indians finishing a 2-4 homestand. They're beginning a long road trip. Everybody over there is disappointed with what's happened. But they come out tonight and put up 9 runs.
The Red Sox, after we won the division in '95, we started out the season in 1996 6-19. Everybody, analysts, friends, colleagues, everybody wrote us off, and we finished 8 games above 500 and almost caught Baltimore for the wild card. That's why I get upset when I hear managers are on the line when they're 35, 40 games in and they're 8 or 9 games under and 5.5 games out. Well, it's the manager's fault.
So Upton's at first, and Gabe Kapler's going to come on to hit for Jason Bartlett. So you figure he'll go into the outfield, and Zobrist will move into the infield.
And this is not Joe Madden throwing in the towel. This is saying, you know what, I got to save Jason Bartlett a few innings. The team got in at, what, 4 in the morning, 4:30. It's 9-0. Jason's been playing out there every single day.
There goes Upton. The pitch is a ball, and BJ has a stolen base. Well, that's what you'd like to see. I mean, there's some life.
Well, that tells you right there. This isn't the team laying down. I mean, you've got a guy in scoring position. You chip away. You do what you can. I mean, keep playing the game. You got 4 innings of offense to go, and BJ still second base. Leadoff walk there.
I mean, that's what you're looking for, some spark. BJ, stolen base. He's in scoring position. It's his 8th steal of the year. 1-1 to Kapler.
That's nasty right there. That's a good hard sinker, 90 miles an hour.
You know, here's another thing that's going on. Not to make excuses for the club. I mean, the Indians are beating them 9-0, but here goes Upton stealing third. He's going to steal it standing up. But the Rays came off that road trip with some guys under the weather. And so this could also be part of Joe Madden's thinking here.
You know, there's a lot of that going around Major League Baseball.
Yep.
I know we had this flu thing going around the country and all that, but I've noticed that more in the last couple of weeks with a lot of teams. With guys under the weather.
It's 3-1 now.
How about even Team USA at the WBC? A lot of those guys had the flu. Big Peavy was sick. A lot of the guys were sick. Keep getting base runners.
Little tap, third base side, foul.
Well, the other thing, you got Pat Burrell out, you got Carl Crawford out right now with the injured shoulder. Bartlett's been playing almost every single day out there. You want to make sure you're healthy for the series and for the long haul too.
Kapler makes contact, fouling it. The Rays trying to get their first run of the night home. Crawford day to day with the bruised shoulder, making that catch on the sinking line drive hit by Aubrey Huff in Baltimore. There's Fernando Perez on the right side of our screen. There's ball 4, and the Rays have a couple men on base. Back-to-back walks, a couple steals, first and third.
3 walks in the last inning plus now for Foster Carmona.
There's a guy that Fernando brings a little life to the game.
Love his speed. Boy, he was fun to watch. I haven't really seen him in person except for the postseason last year, but boy, some kind of speed he has.
Well, he's a very bright young man and has a great approach. And he is a pleasure to be around.
Standing next to the right guy. Two base stealers talking to each other right there.
Here's Longoria. He lines it foul. Strike 1. They haven't had a hit back in the first. 1 of 2 the Rays have picked up off Carmona. They have 2 hits and 3 walks so far.
Middle of May, and he's got 45 RBIs, 5 away from 50.
And this one skipping by, and down the line from third comes Upton. The Rays have a run as Kapler moves up to second.
Well, you know, that's why BJ stole second and third. You keep chipping away. You don't just lay down and quit and stop what you do best. This is a running team, and Victor Martinez did a poor job of blocking that. I mean, he didn't even try to get down and block that ball in the dirt. Skips the backstop. Carl Willis out there to get slow Carmona down again.
So on the wild pitch, the Rays get a run. Kapler's in scoring position. Just a friendly reminder, you can experience a Rays game from the all-inclusive Whitney Bank Club, offering extraordinary seating and luxurious lounge and dining areas. The Whitney Bank Club features an upscale full menu buffet and inclusive drink options. Call 888-FAN-RAYS or go to RaysBaseball.com for more information.
Keep doing your thing, BJ. You get a walk, 2 stolen bases. Nothing wrong with that. He had a nice line out too tonight. He's swinging the bat better. 3 hits last night, and he also tried to bunt in the first inning. So I mean, you take the positives. What BJ Upton's done tonight.
Longoria fouls it back. 1-2. Carmona, just 25 years old. The Indians signed him when he was just 16 in the Dominican Republic. Longoria is out on strikes. The fastball in there and picks up his second strikeout.
Yeah, that had some down action to it. Tough pitch right there. Down and in off the inside corner there to Evan Longoria.
Carlos Pena. Carlos nothing of 2. Popped out to Peralta, the third baseman, in the 4th inning. The shift is on for Carlos. The ground ball hits the mound. Picked up by Cabrera. He bobbles it. Kapler goes for third and stays there as Carlos reaches. Cabrera approaching that one from the first base side of second.
You know, obviously a position he's used to playing, second base, so that's not unusual, right? They just couldn't get the ball out of his glove. He looked up. He had the ball in the pocket of his glove, and as he looked up, I'm not sure why he was looking up to see where Pena was. And just get the ball and throw it over there. But as soon as he looked up, the ball popped out of his glove.
So that's an error charge to Cabrera. First and third. Ibar set the pitch low. Ibar tonight is 0 for 2. Our Toyota trend is a 5-game hitting streak for Ibar as he tries to extend it to 6 right here. Kepler at third, Pena at first. The pitch is down, 2-0.
Victor Martinez tried to pull that back, but we said that before about Tim McClellan behind the plate. You're not going to fool Tim McClellan on balls and strikes.
Ramona really struggled last year against left-handed hitters. He was tough on right-handers. He held right-handed hitters to just a .230 average and only 2 home runs, but lefties got him for better than 300, 303.
Yeah, and you would think with a good hard two-seamer that the ball down and away would be tougher on lefties, but it's really bores in on right-handed hitters like you just saw with the strikeout to Evan. Longoria, but there's one right there. Good movement down.
Two balls, 2 strikes. And a foul ball. Just got a piece of it and stays alive.
Tough one right there. 91 miles an hour with that movement down. Willie's got that look in his face like I'm gonna square this one up. I'm not. You know, I like his determined look. Win the battle.
And a base hit the other way to drive in the run. Kepler crosses the plate. The Rays pick up their second run. Pena stops at second on the RBI single by Ibar, and he extends his hitting streak to 6.
Well, he earned that. That was a tough pitch. He got 3 in a row right there, and the third one he got. Look at him go down below his knees right there and drill that ball into left field. That's why I said that look showed me a lot that he was not going to give in. He was not going to give away that at bat. He was going to beat Carmona at his game, and he did. Great piece of hitting right there.
Gabe Gross. Gabe singled in the 5th inning. He's 1 for 2. It's a strike. And Hergus up in the bullpen for Cleveland. The Indians have tried to shuffle their bullpen a little bit. Working in the 6th, a little over 80 pitches. There's a liner and a base hit. That ball might go all the way to the corner. Pena's going to score. Ibar will be stopped at third on the double by Gabe Gross, and the Rays have a 3-run inning. Gross picking up his second hit tonight.
That's why you keep scrapping and fighting and try to get into that bullpen. Take a look at this. Gabe Gross has been hot. Gets a fastball. Goes down and gets it. Stays back nicely. Great extension through the ball and shoot it in the corner. That ball got into the corner quickly. And the right thing by Tom Foley stopping Ibar. I was watching where Willie Ibar was. It would have been close on a relay, and there's no sense in getting thrown out and taking yourself out of an inning. So you got second and third and 1 out, a chance to get a couple more here.
I'll tell you, they're just a base hit away from making a game of it.
You bet. You bet. That's why I love what BJ did. I mean, he got on base and stole second and third. I mean, there's no quit. Wills told me many times, he said, why should the running game stop just because the offense on the opposition gets 8 or 9 runs? We should keep running and doing our game. Nobody tells them to stop swinging the bats. That's what BJ created in that leadoff walk and 2 stolen bases.
Well, Eric Wedge has seen enough. He's going to go to the bullpen here. That's it for Carmona. We'll be back with a new pitcher in a moment. Checkers double of the game. The Rays trying to battle their way back into this one. An RBI single by Willie Ibar. And then the double by Gabe Gross. The Rays have a 3-run inning underway here. They've chased Fausto Carmona. Well, we kept looking for that 1 inning when he would run into trouble, and the Rays have taken advantage of it. They've chased him from the game, and Matt Hergus will be the new pitcher. Zobrist at the plate. Pitch is inside. 1 ball and no strikes.
Matt's been in 3 games. 0.69 earned run average and 5 1/3. 6 strikeouts, no walks. In the strike zone.
And the strike. These 2 guys, Zobrist and Hergus, born in fairly close proximity. Zobrist was born in Eureka, Illinois, and Hergus was in Champaign, Illinois. Foul ball back. That actually sounds like some kind of a celebration.
It does, yeah. I found it.
What are they doing in Illinois? Eureka and Champaign.
Found it. Pop the cork.
Well, let's see if the Rays can celebrate a little bit and get back in this thing.
Contact, really important right here. Get at least 1. Keep chipping away. Get 1 of those runs out there.
There's a shot. Deep. And gone. Home run for Ben Zobrist. Ben Zobrist popped the cork on the guy from Champaign. He hit it out. A 3-run blast, and the Rays are back in this game. It's a 6-run inning. Now it's 9-6. Zobrist lining his 6th home run of the year into the seats in right.
That is short and compact. That was a fastball in, and Ben got inside it. His lead arm very short right to the ball. He was just trying to make contact. I guarantee we talked to him later. He wasn't thinking home run. He was making sure he just squared it up nicely. That ball just jumped off his bat.
Zaki bunting foul. Strike one.
Take that for contact.
So Ben Zobrist hits one out of here.
And that's what's been going on all season for the Indians.
Completes the line on Carmona. Zaki under this one, a high fly ball to center. Sideboard going to have a lot of room out there and makes the catch. So that will be out number 2. Well, the Rays have put 6 up here and make it a 3-run game in the bottom of the 6th inning.
Indians bullpen has not been one of their strengths. Earned run average is 12th in the American League, 5.78 as a unit down there. So Laffey's up. Aaron Laffey.
Pitch to Michel Hernandez is down. 1 ball and no strikes. Well, their bullpen situation has gotten to the point where it's not only affected their big league club, but their minor league organization. They've taken Hector Rondon, who's a premier pitching prospect at AA. He's been a starter. They moved him to the bullpen at AA because he has a very good arm, a mid-90s velocity. And they're starting to think about him as a possibility of helping the bullpen.
Yeah, and signing Kerry Wood was huge for them. A couple of years ago in 07, Jensen Lewis and guys like Rafael Betancourt, that was one of their strengths. So they said, well, last year was a tough year in the pen, so we needed a closer. And they went and got Kerry Wood, a big offseason signing.
The chopper by the mound, and it'll be charged by Valbuena. And the throw to first is in time. That retires the side, but the Rays send 9 men to the plate. They score 6-3 coming on the blast by Zobrist, and they trail 9-6 through 6. (9-6) Cleveland leading. We go to the 7th. Ben Zobrist comes in to play shortstop from left field. Ben connecting for the big home run in the bottom of the 6th inning. The blast for Alltel Wireless. Now there's a circle for everyone. 5, 10, or 20 free numbers on any network with My Circle, exclusively from Alltel. So Bartlett lifted for the pinch hitter. Zobrist is at shortstop, and Kapler is at left, and Benz, knowing that he's going to go in to play shortstop, checks the defensive charts, trying to figure out where he's supposed to be at short, depending on who's hitting.
Yeah, different in the infield than playing left field, where the shift would be Gabe Kapler takes over on left. And then what? He's looking to see, well, who we're going to shift on today now that I'm playing infield.
And Francisco takes the first pitch from Grant Balfour for a strike. See,
yeah, right here. Let me look at the shift. See the big S right there? There it is. Shift. Sizemore, Martinez, Chu. Don't throw it up there where I had it.
Foul back, 1-2.
Get 2 strikes, you can do it.
Well, now the Rays are looking for a big stop here.
Huge.
The 7th inning. It's a 3-run game. How about that? It was a 9-run game. And then that leadoff walked up and swiped a couple bases, and suddenly the Rays came to life, and there's strike 3 call on Ben Francisco. 1 away. 7 strikeouts for Rays pitching tonight.
Hey, this is a good change of pace right here with Balfour, because he throws 93 to 95, and we've been seeing a lot of off-speed stuff tonight. So it's a good time for Grant to be in there and put a 0 up there, keep the game right here. Give these Indian hitters who've been diving on the off-speed stuff a different look.
Yeah, they're not going to dive here.
No.
Popper and Zobrist at shortstop makes the catch. Yeah. Balfour doesn't have to straighten them up. They just take a couple looks at that healthy fastball. They straighten up all by themselves.
It's not a bad thing either to be conveniently wild once in a while.
Yeah. Right.
Keep the momentum, and you're only down 3 now. The game has totally changed. Just keep the momentum on the Rays side. Put a 0 up there.
Pitch to Luis Valbuena is away. 1 ball, no strikes.
And seeing that look of Eric Wedge last inning, I mean, that's the look I've seen in several of the games I've watched, because there is major concern about the bullpen. I mean, it's of discuss, and what do we do? And they know. I mean, they really know over there. 3 runs is not enough of a lead with the way the bullpen's been giving it up. Watched them play Toronto the other day, and the same thing happened. The bullpen gave it up. Had a pretty good lead.
3-0.
Get that feeling over there when you go through that no lead is safe. Kind of permeates too throughout, like who's going to be the stopper, who's going to be the guy. I mean, there's your stopper. If you can get to that point, it's supposed to be the guy, Kerry Wood.
Counts full.
We talk about it's getting those 9 outs, those final 9 outs, and getting those outs to get to your closer. That's been the tough part for Eric Wedge.
Strike 3 call. Balfour was convinced it was a strike. He was walking off the mound, and Valbuena thought maybe it was ball 4. He started to walk to first, and it's a strike 3 call. Bottom of the 7th coming, 9-6 Cleveland.
Seventh inning, guys. There's a lot going on here this weekend at Tropicana Field, giveaway item-wise. Pat Burrell poster tomorrow, 7,500 fans, courtesy of the St. Petersburg Times. First 7,500 fans. Then we have this Evan Longoria figurine. That'll go to every fan on Saturday. Don't forget, Saturday is a 4:10 game. Thank you for displaying that for us, by the way. Then we have the Matt Garza shirt, guys. This will be for kids, 14 and under. I'll get it free here in a sec. 14 and under, presented by Majestic Athletics. Got Rays on the front, Garza on the back. All these items this weekend. Poster tomorrow, figurine Saturday, shirt Sunday, 14 and under. Back to you guys.
Wherever Todd goes, pandemonium is sure to follow. And we're seeing another example of it right there.
What a stir he's created. Wow.
BJ goes for the 0-1 pitch and pops it in the short right. Braylon's out there from second base and makes the catch. That's how the bottom of the seventh begins, with the Rays down by 3. Gabe Kapler pinch hit and walked in the 6th. Will bat again here in the 7th inning. You know, it's a photo op with Todd Callis.
This young girl's on the phone talking to her friends. You know, I was with Todd Callis.
That's exactly right.
That's the guy to my left. Yeah, that's him.
She said, "You mean the Todd?"
The Todd Callis. Yeah. See? Yeah. That's good.
Pitch outside.
Yeah, I wanted to mention too, by the way, coming out of that last hitter, the youngster Valbuena. I mean, that was a close pitch, but Tim McClellan, I think he really saw the kid flip the bat and say, you know what, you were going to call pitches? No, I'll call pitches. Strike 3, pal.
Take another look at that.
Yeah, let's take a look at the youngster. Yeah, he's acting like a 15-year veteran. You know, that ball might be off the outside corner, but look at that quick flip. Don't do that on Tim McClellan because he hesitates. Jim McClellan will do the umpiring, and a veteran like that is going to say, you know what, you get 15 years in, that might have been ball 4.
Ground ball, and Hergus comes up with that one. Got the glove down there, and that ball ran right up into the webbing of his glove, and he throws out Kapler.
Yeah, a little break right there. It's not the way you design it. Got a backhand it normally, but it did fall right into his glove right there. Take a look. Gabe hits it right back up the middle. Protection mode right there, and he's able to grab it. Keep scrapping. 2-out rally here.
Here's Evan Longoria. Just outside, 1-0.
Longoria gets on. I don't think you're going to see Hergus face Pena. Get the lefty out in the bullpen laughing.
2-0. Carlos on deck.
I don't think there's any way he faces Hergus with Longoria at first. He's going to have to face Aaron Laffey. But Carlos hits those lefties for home runs. We've seen that many times already this year.
Ramona went 5 1/3. Hergus had a couple outs in that 6th inning after he gave up the home run to Ben Zobrist. 2-1. Belting his 6th home run of the year. Throws another strike. It's 2-2.
Yeah, the paint right there. That's a tough pitch to hit. Nothing we could do with that pitch.
Tap foul.
Important at bat too to get a man on base here for lineup turnover. Should have go to the bottom of the ninth. Those first 3 hitters at 5th at bat in the 9th inning.
Hergus, 39-year-old right-hander out there. goes to 3-2.
Also make the Indians use the bullpen more. Evans grinding it out. I mean, he's had a good at bat.
Sends a fly ball right center field. Sizemore and Laporta, and it's Laporta on the track making the catch to retire the side. Deep towering fly ball. We've gone through 7. 9-6 Cleveland. Good to be home. First game of this homestand. The Rays have battled their way back into this game. Have a couple innings left, and Grant Balfour back to the hill, facing the top of the order. Sizemore looks at a fastball, strike. Cabrera next, and then Martinez. Heading toward left center. Kepler can't get there. Upton's going to back it up, and that'll hold Sizemore to a base hit. A leadoff single. Sizemore's on for the first time. Time for the Stay in the Game hold of the day, brought to you by Just for Men Hair Color. Last night in Baltimore, out of the bullpen, Cormier, Schaus, and Wheeler combining. And the Rays eventually won that game 8-6, just as middle relievers keep their teams in the game. You too can stay in the game with Just for Men Hair Color. And here's Cabrera driving one into the gap in right center field. Well, that's going to score Sizemore. Cabrera's rounding second. He's headed for third, and the throw's not going to be in time. And this is not what the Rays had in mind. A single and a triple. And Cabrera's on for the 5th time tonight. He has 2 singles, a double, a triple, and he reached on an error.
Yeah, I mean, it's fault. She chokes up on the bat. She's short to the ball right there, and the ball was just belt high over the heart of the plate. Cabrera and Victor Martinez have just killed the Rays pitching tonight. Seven hits
allowed tonight by the Rays staff. The infield comes in with Cabrera at third and Victor Martinez. It's a 4-run game, and now the infield forced to come in. Victor Martinez already hitting .396, and with a drawn-in infield, the about a 450 or 500 hitter.
I would say so. Hit the ball hard 4 times. 2 doubles, single, line out to left.
Put away.
And Cabrera has 4 hits. I mean, there's a 7 hits combined between Cabrera and Victor Martinez.
Brian Schaus now busy in the Rays bullpen. Strike call. 1-1. And the pitch missed. 2-1. Longoria and Zobrist on the left side of the infield. Iwamura and Pena right side. And everybody close. Liner into left. That's going to fall in front of Kapler for a base hit, scoring Cabrera. And the Indians have added a couple runs. The 4th run batted into this game for Victor Martinez.
For that at bat, he was hitting 396, so he's pushing 400 now, Victor Martinez. And the reason he's hitting as well as he is because he's done just that. He'll take a ball up and away and go the other way. He uses the field extremely well. 298 lifetime hitter coming into the season.
Shin-Soo Choo up there now. That's a strike. Choo hit one out of sight in the 6th inning. He has a single, double, and home run. Indians now have 17 hits. Make it 18. Down to second base goes Martinez. And Choo has a 4-hit night. Well, how about these guys? Cabrera, Martinez, and Choo. I mean, those 3 single-handedly have driven in 9 runs.
I don't know that I've ever seen a 2, 3, and 4 hitters combined each have a 4-hit night.
Look at that. Check out their box score.
I mean, you can't do that in batting practice.
The Indians have opened the 8th with 4 straight hits.
It's disheartening too because you got the momentum on your side. Even though coming into this inning you're down 3, the momentum was in the Rays dugout, and you're giving it right back to them.
Johnny Peralta. One ball, no strikes. That's a strike, and it pops away from Hernandez. Slider. It's 1-1. So Sizemore and Cabrera have scored the runs, driven in by Cabrera and Martinez. Martinez on second, Choo's at first. Chopper down to third, out at third. Longoria still at first, out there. They get a 5-3 double play. Choo moves into second. Peralta with that chopper down to Evan. And Longoria starts the 5-3 double play. And
Evan didn't rush it. I mean, totally under control. Knew exactly who was running, how much time he had, and made sure he gathered himself. And after touching the bag at third, take a look. He's going to go right to the bag, get the lead runner right there, and then gather himself a little bit. Quick shuffle, and then throw a strike over there. Carlos Pena, a little bit low, but Carlos had a nice stretch. Had plenty on it, though.
DeRosa swinging and missing the fastball. Strike 1. 11-6 Cleveland. Rays at one time were down by 9 runs. We're down 9-0 until they scored 6 in the 6th. That takes care of DeRosa and the Indians. A slider registers the strikeout, but they add 2. 11-6. We're in the middle of the 8th. To you by Tobacco Free Florida. Tobacco Free Florida wants you to be tobacco free. Visit tobaccofreeflorida.com for more information. By Aflac, ask about it at work. And by Publix, where shopping is a pleasure. 11-6. We move into the bottom half of the 8th. Aaron Laffey is the new pitcher. The left-hander making his 7th appearance.
Yeah, 26 2/3 innings. The walks pretty high, 15 walks in those 26 2/3 innings. Only 13 strikeouts. That's not what you're looking for right there. But he's got a 5-run cushion. The Rays are just setting him up for another 6-run inning. It's supposed to be 12-11.
That would work. It's Carlos Pena leading off, and he bunts down that third base side against the shift.
That's a good play. Base runners. That's a good play down 5, excuse me.
Yeah.
With a huge shift on. If that ball was fair, he might have got a double out of it.
The Rays looking for some base runners. Trying to get something going. Strike. Ibar next, and then Gross due up. Ball and 2 strikes. Willie Ibar waiting to hit next. Two. Pretty good pitch right there on 2-2. A fastball and then a nice swing. Fouled it back.
That was. He was all over that. Laid off a couple of tough breaking balls and then got a fastball up, and he was all over it.
full count. He's worked it all the way out now. This one.
Good at battling. Grinding, scrapping, battling.
So after the third Cleveland pitcher of this game. Rays got 5 off Carmona, 1 off Hergus. And a swing and a miss. The fastball, and Pena is out on strikes. 1 away in the 8th. Let's go to Todd Callis now.
Stan Rhodes is with me. This is the guy that usually shoots wherever I am in the stadium. But in this case, he gets to be on camera because, guys, we're going to have a special behind-the-scenes look at Rays television. On Tuesday night after the game, it's our next Inside the Rays show. It is wild and wacky at times, but it's something we've been doing for 12 years, and we love it. It's behind the scenes, inside the Rays, how to put together a TV broadcast, guys. It should be a lot of fun. Back to you.
Yeah, we're still working on how to put together a television broadcast. Ibar is out, Peralta to DeRosa. You know, that's the only sanctuary that Todd Callis has is with Stan Rhodes there, because Todd's public is after him wherever he goes.
Well, they have to protect him somehow. Look at that. He's in that box there. It's all good. They can't get to you, Todd, from there.
Two outs with the bases empty. Gabe Gross takes the pitch outside. 1-0. We're in the bottom of the 8th here. Nothing. Mona worked 5 1/3 and Burgess an inning and 2/3. And now Laffey, a couple of outs under his belt. Had a couple hits tonight. One batted in and a run scored. Full count. And Ben Zobrist is on deck.
Hey, why not?
Yeah.
A couple of good at bats by Carlos Pena, though, and Gabe Gross out the lefty. Aaron Laffey, the count full. Both guys have. Get Ben up there.
Gross ready, 3-2. And a liner into left. Will it hang up? It will. Caught by Francisco. The Rays are out in the 8th. We're headed into the 9th with the score 11-6 Cleveland. Cabrera, Victor Martinez, and Sen Su Chu have all had 4 hits tonight. 12 of the 18 Cleveland hits. Check out the new R Performance vehicles at your local Jaguar dealer or on JaguarUSA.com. Brian Schaus, the new Rays pitcher, facing Finn Francisco. 1-0 pitch is lifted into center. BJ Upton is there and makes the catch. That'll be the first out. So the Rays, and surrendering 18 hits so far. That's a season's high for hits allowed. See the numbers on Brian Schaus.
I always look at the strikeouts to walks, 11 2/3 innings, only 2 walks. To me, that's so important because Brian, is a strike thrower, and that's what you want, especially late inning relief. They can put it in play.
The strike on the outside corner to Matt Laporta. He's had a couple of hits, 2 for 4, and has scored 2 runs and picked up his first Major League stolen base in the 6th inning.
Yeah, Matt likes that fastball.
The ground is short. Zobrist up with it. They throw to first in time. So 2 outs. Rays gave up 17 hits to the White Sox back on the 19th of April. They scored 12 runs in that game. And that's the most runs the Rays have given up. They've allowed 11 runs on a season's high 18 hits tonight. First pitch from Schaus to Albuena is down and in. 1 ball, no strikes.
Game certainly didn't start out that way, did it? The way Carmona and Shields were both throwing, you wouldn't think it'd be 11-6 right now.
That's exactly right. 2-0. Shields was throwing the ball very well.
He was.
The early innings of this game, and Carmona was throwing well, as he is likely to do. He did run into trouble when the Rays scored 6 in the 6th. Liner to left, that's caught by Kapler, and it's a 1-2-3 ninth for Schaus. We go to the bottom of the 9th. Get the rally caps ready. The Rays are down 11-6. There is precedent for a comeback, and that was last year on August the 6th when Gabe Gross hit a 3-run homer in the 9th inning, and then Carlos Pena hit one as well, and that gave the Rays a dramatic victory as they scored 6 in the 9th to win 10-7.
That's good precedent right there because both sides know it. Eric Wedge knows that, remembers that very well, and when you feed off a lot of the comeback wins that the Rays had last year, that's why you keep scrapping.
So Ben Zobrist hitting right-handed against Aaron Laffey. leads off and takes the first pitch for a strike. The Rays need some base runners. 1-1 the count. Iwamura next, and then Michel Hernandez due to hit. Two balls and a strike. The Rays did strike for 6 runs in the 6th inning tonight. They were down 9-0 at the time. And now the count is 3-1 after the first pitch taken for a strike. It's a 3-1 count.
Yeah, even last inning, I mean, Pena and Gross had 3 and 2 counts, both guys. Gross ended the inning just lining out, almost got a base hit.
3 and 2.
That was 11-7 swing right there. He just missed it straight back. But he worked himself into that count right there to get that pitch to try to hit.
And there's ball 4. So the Rays put the leadoff man aboard in the 9th inning. Let's see what that could lead to.
See the uneasiness right there of Eric Wedge kind of gritting the teeth, the jaw, and looking at his card there to see who's coming up. And you know, another base runner, you know, you want to get Longoria and Pena up in this inning if you can. Naki's due. Get on base here.
Naki 0 for 3. Takes a strike. Ramona, Burgess, and now Laffey. Ball away. It's 1-1.
Another base runner, you're going to see, you know, Jensen Lewis or Betancourt, one of those guys get up. Maybe even Kerry Wood. Who knows? I mean, Eric Wedge may not even fool around at all.
If he misses away, 2 balls and a strike. There's a peek into the bullpen. Strike 2. Laffey found the strike zone with a fastball. 2-2.
Just barely.
Laffey made 4 starts. This is his 3rd appearance out of the bullpen. And a base hit into right field. Iwamura's aboard. Zobrist will go to 3rd. And the Rays put the first 2 men on base here in the bottom of the 9th.
Well, Aki's due, and he delivers right here. Goes down and gets it, sweeps it, pulls it into right field. A little breaking ball right there, and Zobrist avoids the ball and gets to third base easily. They weren't going to try to throw him out. Throw that ball away and make it 2nd and 3rd. And that will get the bullpen going for the Indians.
Yeah, Carl Willis is going to go to the mound. Diana Navarro has been announced as a pinch hitter for Michel Hernandez. So the Rays with a couple of men on trying to build an inning in their last shot of the night. Kerry Wood is up.
Yeah, he's not fooling around at all. I mentioned that he may not fool around. That's why. 6 ERA though for Kerry Wood, 5 saves, but a couple of guys on. Wood says, let's go to the guy that we signed in the offseason. Kerry Wood, who did a nice job for the Chicago Cubs last year in his first full time as a closer.
Well, here's Navarro. Had a couple of runs batted in the game last night in Baltimore. down to third. Second base 1, first base 2, as he hits into the 5-4-3 double play. Zobrist crosses the plate. The double play ball gets a run home, but costs the Rays 2 outs. The Rays make it 11-7. A low line, 1 hopper to third.
Yeah, he squared it up nicely, but hit it in the wrong spot. A couple feet left or right, it's another hit.
B.J. Upton takes it outside. Ball, 2 strikes. The Rays down to their final out and their final strike here in the bottom of the 9th inning.
The only thing about, Navarro swinging first pitch is for that reason right there. You take it right out of the inning and put the momentum back on Aaron Lapp, because he was picking around the plate a little nervous. I know Navi hit it hard, and that's a good thing, but that's the only thing about swinging first pitch, because you get the bullpen up, Kerry Wood, and you might want to work the count with that situation.
Ball 3 as BJ takes a close pitch. Gabe Kapler would be next. Upton fouls it away, out of play, forcing another delivery.
The other thing about that, you take a pitch, work the count a little bit. You give Aki a chance to get to second base, so you can eliminate the double play to make sure Longoria gets a chance to hit this inning.
And there is strike 3 call. This game is over. Upton called out on strikes. The Rays score 1 run in the 9th inning.